did you do you keep in touch with almost everyone from your season? I know
I do,
like you
very
said.
much so.
I know you guys have the fraternity type thing, and we've had lots of people like from your season actually on the show. After thinking about it, I've had Tracy on the show.
Yeah,
Kathy
she's a sweetheart with her 2 daughters.
So it's kind of like you pretty much been a tight group that season, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's actually what's interesting, and I think that our season, especially postseason, is one of the closest seasons as far as like us staying in touch with each other. I'm about to go. Chet works in beauty pageants, and I'm going to go judge Miss Pennsylvania in June, actually with Natalie White, who just won this past season. And so it's like a really good network because we're all kind of out doing really different things. But I think our season specifically, we remained really good friends post-season, which is not the case for all seasons, because that's the other thing, going back to what I was talking about, prefacing before about that betrayal, is like there's some legit like beef between people still. And I think it's hard to get over. And in time, I think people do. But there are certainly, reality TV stars have a very bold personality, and that's what gets you on TV, and that's what makes you entertaining, and that's what they're looking for in the casting room. And when you get, 2 personalities that, like, viciously oppose one another, you can imagine how that pans out in real life, because at the end of the day, that's what reality TV is. Like, we are just normal people. We're not acting. We're not, out there trying to, like, put on a front. So, like, the feuds that you see on TV usually translate into real life, which I always think is funny because I have no problem with anyone, but I'm also kind of difficult to, like, piss off, I guess.
I see what you're saying, and I think that's across the board with all reality shows, too.
Oh, of course.
I mean, that's how it is. And I know you guys just had your big...
we just had our 10-year reunion. It was
so
fun.
20 seasons.
Yeah, it was so fun. I mean, the whole thing's an excuse to all get together,
I mean, I know, and I know you guys do I know this last year, did you go to the Houston or the Louisville events at all?
This was the first year I couldn't, but it's just because I'm a motivational speaker and I had other things booked like months in advance, so I wasn't able to. But we're having we're having 2 big charity events. One is in October. It's for an animal rescue, and there's actually a crazy amount of us going to that. And then there's another one, let me think, it's the Celebration, the one in Florida, and that one is coming up, actually. I want to say July 23rd through the 25th. And so there's a group of us who are pretty much the same crew who go to all the charity events together. Either we work in the nonprofit sector, or we have a socially conscious company, or something that makes us a little more relevant to charity events. And then, again, in L.A., there's a big crew of us, and we hang out on a pretty regular basis.
I know the Virginia one is done by April Mueller, and she's been on my show. And that's one that once it gets closer, I'm going to be plugging. I'm probably going to
I love her.
myself.
She's
me
amazing.
too. She's a really sweetheart. And then there's the one that I didn't hear about the Florida one, but I think it's the same one that April from Big Brother. Is that the same one? I think that April from Big Brother, I almost lost the number for a second, 10, I think she went to last year. But then there's another one, and I was kind of going to talk about this real quick.
The Kentucky Derby one?
No, I was going to talk about the one that's happening just in Virginia, coming up with the Jen Lyon, Jen, what's her last name? I'm going blank. The one that just passed away from cancer.
Jen Lyons.
Yeah, I know they're having a thing for her.
Who even take a moment to reference her, because I just
have to say why I kind of went to her. That's why I was kind of that's why I was bringing her name up, was to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jen Lyons obviously just recently passed away from cancer, and I just have to say that I obviously have a luxury of meeting all these different survivors, and it's so exciting to like see them on the show and then to meet them in real life and kind of get to know who they are and get to meet their families and all these things. And Jen Lyons is hands down one of the most beautiful women I've ever met in real life, but more importantly, her physical attributes, which, I mean, she's such a bombshell anyway, but it paled in comparison to who she was as a person, and she is one of the most fearless, resilient women I'd ever met. And so to have, to lose her was very difficult for the entire survivor community, because I think, on behalf of all of us, that she was one of the best representations of who we are, and it was very, very disappointing, to say the least. So yeah, she's certainly an angel upstairs now, looking down on us and dancing from above. But my God, what a magnificent woman! What a treasure!
I do have another one too. While we're talking about charities and stuff and everything, but I wanted to talk to you about your thing that you do. Is it? I'm trying to make sure. I know I'm going to misquote it. I am just a girl. Is that how you say it?
It's close, very close. I started an empowerment company for girls and women in Los Angeles called I Am That Girl.
I am that girl.
Yeah.
I was having Barton for it.
You're real close. And so I actually did my undergrad and master's out at University of Southern California, and I was a motivational speaker before I went on Survivor, and I started this company, I Am That Girl, and then had obviously the awesome opportunity and luxury of going on a show that I respected and loved my whole life. And it really was such a blessing because it put me in a position to have a lot of PR for this company, and so it's really helped me. It's leveraged what I do and really put it in the limelight, which, like I said, is such a blessing. But my company, I Am That Girl, is a socially conscious empowerment company, and we do workshops and seminars all over the U.S. I speak all over, and we have a nonprofit sector of it, and we have local chapters in almost every major city, and we started an international leadership program for girls last year that's still an incubation period, but we're very excited about it. We have a big conference coming up in Los Angeles in about 9 months. And our big claim to fame is that we are working to ignite the next women's movement, and we want men to be a part of it as much as we want women. I think that's something that's really unique about what we do is we're for us, by us. So there's about 23 girls who work with me, and we don't believe in a world anymore where intangibles are mutually exclusive. So we really that a woman can be bold and beautiful and fierce and feminine and strong and smart and sexy, and that we don't have to, choose between them anymore. So we're really excited to ignite this new movement for girls and women that's inspiring authentic confidence. So that's kind of what we do.
Are you still working on your book?
I am. I actually just finished it in December, which was really exciting, and so we're in the editing process of it right now, and it's called Be That Girl, I Dare You. And it's kind of a how-to book, which is my own life experiences and some antidotes that I put together, which I'm very proud of. So I'm very excited to have that out soon. So, yeah, and then I blog pretty regularly on our website. It's IamThatGirl.com, and then if you click on the blog, it says Miss Jones, and that's me. And so, yeah.
I was reading some of your blog today. I think your last thing was about your brother.
Yeah, my brother was just in a bad accident. He was in a soccer accident and suffered a severe concussion and fractured his head in 2 places. And that's really, really epitomizes what my blog is it's very intimate, it's very candid. And I always feel like there's some revelation some epiphany within that. And for me, as you're referencing with my brother, it's kind of a reminder. It happened about 4 days ago now, but it's such a reminder of this idea of like playing full out and leaving everything on the field. And I think it's a shame that it usually requires us to have some type of atrocity or some type of injury or something happening, a mishap in our life for us to fully, completely relish life and to live it to its fullest. And so in this blog, it's just about a page, but I think it's really inspiring readers to go for it, whatever that can be. And it kind of relates back to the whole mission of I Am That Girl, which is to also inspire people to dream big and to really go for it. So, yeah, and it's funny. It has a picture of me and my brother in the hospital. We had fallen asleep waiting to hear back the results from the CAT scan. So it's certainly a very intimate look into my personal life, which I'm up for sharing with people because I think it's important that we have a little more authenticity in this world and a little less facade, and I think that's one of the things I'm really trying to change.
I remember when you when you were on Fan versus Favorite, you came out, from there. I remember following your afterwards, and that was one thing I remember. And tonight, even just to refresh my memory, I did some YouTubing, and I was really inspired by the YouTube that when you were talking about why you created the company and the stuff that you were talking about.
It's really funny. It's a really funny story how I got on Survivor in the last 2 days of casting and had like a 30-second stint to try and convince them why I thought it was in their best interest to cast me. So it's really a unique story. I was in school. I was in my last semester of grad school, and obviously I was a huge fan of the show. And as you know from my tape, I grew up with 4 older brothers in Texas, so I was a total tomboy. And I always wanted to be on the show, but I was in school during it, and it was just never really an option.